and welcome back. It's Oopsy Daisy. I'm Ashley.
And I am Vanessa.
And I know it's been quite a while since our last one. It was 2 months ago.
It's been 84 years, guys. I'm sorry.
But both me and Vanessa have jobs that are very crazy in December. And so it was just really hard to make podcasts, let alone sit down and edit them and everything. So sorry about that. But we're glad we're back. 2019, how has it been so far for you?
You know, it's been good. I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to the listeners.
And happy holidays to anyone else out
Yes,
there who doesn't celebrate that.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I wanted to say something, but I was like, I don't know. And I was like, Merry Christmas! Damn.
But you got a fancy new setup there.
I do. I'm not hiding in the closet anymore to record. I'm actually like at my work desk and everything is pretty beautiful. I love it. I hope it sounds good. That's all I care about. Did you have a good Christmas?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had a pretty okay Christmas. It was what it is. Florida, so it doesn't really get that cold.
Yeah, it didn't get cold here either. It's just cold now. Like, I'm freezing.
Well, you're going to say Celsius, and I don't know what the conversion of that is.
Okay, well, if 0 is 32 for you, it's 8 degrees for me. So, it's 40 degrees?
So, probably, somewhere in the 40s, maybe.
I don't know. I don't do Fahrenheit. I'm not American. So, the rest of the world's Celsius. Like, please, catch on, America. Please.
Okay, so today we're doing the grade point average episode of season 1 of Life with Derek. People consider this one of the big Daisy episodes, especially of season 1. Do you agree with that?
I mean, maybe like
watching it. I mean, yes, they interact a lot, and like there's some interesting interactions, but I mean, I think out of context, things look better.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you were to take clips and made it, like, a music video or something, yes, it's very Daisy, because there's, like, the talk they have at the locker, and they both, like, turn away, and they're both, like, smiling and everything. Yes, that it is. But and when you're watching it, you're like,
Yeah. And then, of course, like, when he's studying down at the table and he gets frustrated with it, and, like, Casey's just, like, looking down and, like, looking at him, and then she goes and joins him.
Yeah.
It looks better without context, but really they're just, like, manipulating each other and everything. Not that I still don't like this episode, but
it was a good one.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to start. So the summary for grade point average is Casey discovers she has a reputation as a grade grubber and wants to rid herself of it by choosing a slacker to work with on a group assignment, like Derek. Derek is on the brink of failing English and wants to pick someone smart to work with on the same group project, like Casey. There we go.
Did you ever fail English?
No, I've never failed any class. I
mean, same. We had this discussion, but same. My grades were not the best. But I never failed. Oh, that's something, right?
I mean, I might have failed, like, a quiz or, like, maybe even a test, but I never failed the whole class.
Oh, yeah, same. Like, I thought I failed, like, grade A math, but I somehow went on to grade 9 math, so I don't know how that worked out. Like,
they were like, we're just gonna push her through.
I think that's literally what happened, because I remember, you know how you have, like, midterms and everyone's, like, in the gym writing out their exam or some shit?
Well, we didn't have them in the gym, but yeah.
We had, like, grade 8 to 12, everyone at a desk in a gym and doing a test
you went to a very small school. I have to keep remembering that, because I'm just like, well, how big is your freaking gym?
You say this because I went to school in Quebec, and it was over 1,000 kids, and they did the exact same thing.
Oh, no. We just went to our regular, like, classrooms.
No, like, everyone was there, and you had teachers, like, walking up and down the gym, like, making sure you weren't cheating.
Like, during finals week, you would get an assignment. You're like, okay, for your math test, you're going to be meeting in room 11 at 9 o'clock. That was what happened, but...
It was great, though, but I remember, because I got my test back for math, and it was, like, 30%. And they're like, I was like, cool, I'm redoing 8th grade math, I know it. They're like, have fun in grade 9. And I was like, what? What?
Gotta love the school systems.
Right? I mean, why not?
Oh boy. But yeah, I never failed anything. The last time I had a C on my report card, I was in eighth grade, I believe.
Cool. Me was 12th grade. Last time I
And it
had a
was in
C was 12th
Spanish.
grade.
I was always get C's in Spanish, and it was like pissing me off because it was the only one I would really get like bad marks on. But
Cool. Cool. I had it in French, English, math, history, science, all C's. That was great. But it wasn't a fail mark in my school, so it was good. Canada has a different grading system, and I love it.
yeah, well, you probably would have straight up failed, maybe.
If I was in the States, maybe. But in Canada, it's different. And I
Yeah,
passed.
with with Derek in one of the later episodes, he like passes the class by having like a 56 or something.
Yeah, you fail if you get below 50 in
That's
Canada.
that's no, that's a straight up F right here.
Yeah, no, not in Canada. Unless you're in Quebec. Quebec is 60, but everywhere else in Canada is 50. So I
Yeah.
never failed a class. Yeah! But it reminds me because I had a teacher in English class. Her name will stay confidential. Uh, but she really hated our class. Like, this is in grade 12. And you know how you're supposed to keep a student's, like, grade, like, confidential? You can't tell anyone, kind of thing. But, so she'd be like, she called out one of the students in our class, and she's like, "This is your grade." And she's like, "You have 54%." Expecting like to him to be embarrassed and feel bad and want to like try, and this guy's just in the back of the class and goes, "So?" And I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. Like she tried to like make him feel bad and like buckle down and work, and he's just like, "So?" I was like, mood.
Uh, well, okay, so the episode starts at school. Casey and Emily come out of the classroom, and Casey got a 92 on like a test or something. But she says she should have gotten a 94 because like I guess it was a math, I think it was something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
And then
math.
a dude that's going by her like coughs like grade grubber next to her.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Emily is embarrassed because she hears the comment.
When isn't she not embarrassed?
I don't know, especially this. So anyway, I never heard the term grade grubber.
I haven't either. Like the show's like the thing that made it up, I guess, but like I've never heard of it. I've
Yeah,
never seen someone go back and try and improve their grade either.
me either. Like I think like if let's just say it was a math test or like something said like, I mean maybe in a way I would, and some people had, but it's not like to the extent that it seems like Casey's doing it. Because like let's just say like A, B, and C, and like C is the right answer, and I had C correct, but they marked it wrong. I would definitely go up to the teacher and be like, "Hey, you like marked my this one wrong when it was right." That's like I would do that.
But at the same time though, like I don't know if you've seen it, but we've always had the person who like it's like, "Oh, I did so bad." And you're like, "Oh, me too. What did you get?" And you're like hoping to like celebrate in your like horrible grade so you guys don't feel bad, and the person's like, "Oh, I got a 95." And you're like, "Oh, get the fuck out of my face," right? You're like, "Okay, I'm leaving." I know people who've done that.
No, I never did that. Like I was happy to get like, B's and A's, like, it didn't matter what kind. But yeah, I wasn't never that bad.
I see that's the only like thing I've seen that's like close to it is like the person's like, "Oh, I did so bad." I'm like, "Oh, me too. What did you get?" "I got a 90." "Oh, cool. I'm gonna go over here then." And like hide my like 60 or something. I'd be like,
So like again, it's all about this like this rep. They're talking about like rep. Like Casey's rep is like totally shattered and everything. It's like, why do people care so much about like rep? I don't feel like anyone ever had that mentality.
I mean, I've seen like I
Like I
guess like I've
understand
never
people have like
seen.
appearances to like
Yeah.
uphold and everything, but it's like I don't know. It's just like it's such a big freaking school. And it's just like I don't know why people care so much.
It's true. Like you don't see it to an extent to like in like media. It makes it look such like a big deal. And then you got like real life from what I saw, no one really cared. It's
Yeah,
like,
not in my school at least. I don't think like
yeah.
if someone, because I think in my school especially, a lot of the quote unquote popular kids were also smart kids.
Oh, that's not how it was in mine.
That
No.
was for like a good majority of them. Like they were in the honors classes and AP classes and everything. Um,
Okay, yeah.
but so I don't think they would have ragged on someone for wanting to get a better grade.
Yeah, like, see, mine
but
was like mixed. Like, we had smart kids, and then we had like the kid who was like, so? Like, no one, it was like we coexisted together, and
well, yeah,
you were
but
popular even if you weren't smart, kind of thing. But I don't know why Emily would be embarrassed about her friend's reputation. Like,
because it reflects on her and that's all she cares about.
again, Emily, you two-faced bitch.
But anyway, they're in the hallway, and Casey is like, "Thanks for sticking by me. It must be so hard to be friends with someone who is so unpopular." And Emily's like, "It is." And then she
Not
sees Casey's reaction, is like, "Not hard
at
at
all.
all." And it's just
No,
like Emily.
like, please, Casey, dump this hoe. Oh, she's
It's
so
just like
bad.
like
I,
oh.
every time Emily does something, you know I'm gonna point it out and just call her like a horrible person every single time.
It just
Oh,
like continues to surprise me how like bad of a friend she was, especially like again, we still have like three more seasons to go through,
true.
and I'm just wondering like, is she ever going to be that friend I remember her being?
No, we've already written her off. We see things
Or
different
is she
now.
just continuously like this bitch? It's just like,
Yeah, we've written her off. We see things in a different light now. Like, the goggles are off. We see clearly now.
and then Casey's like, well, at least the teachers like me. Like, the students are like making fun of her, but at least the teachers like her. And the art teacher goes by and assures Casey that her grade was changed from an A minus to an A. She was saying, like, oh, it was a self portrait. How does she know how I think I look? Like, she goes the extra mile to get the extra point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's
Like,
art.
it's a valid argument there, but I wouldn't actually go to my teacher for that and be like, hey, I deserve a better grade.
But see,
Because
here's the
again, it's very
thing.
subjective.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Art is subjective. Like, everyone looks at it a different way. So you can't be like, this is how it's supposed to be. You better give me the grade for it. You can't do that with art.
And then Emily says that if Casey is okay with having this reputation, then it's cool with her. But when Casey thanks her, Emily just asks her what she's going to do. Basically, she's saying, like, Casey, if you're okay with being a grade grubber, it's fine. And then she's like, but seriously, what are you going to do about this grade grubber situation? Like, she wants her to change it. Like, she's not okay with it, as what she's saying. So, Emily.
Such a great friend. Everyone should have a friend like Emily. I don't know about you, but I feel it. I feel the love.
hmm So then we go to the kitchen at the Venturi residence, and Derek needs George to sign a test because he failed it. And it was an English test, and I just love these lines where George is like, "You failed an English test? You speak English, don't you?" And then Derek's like, "Very goodly."
It's different though.
I know, but I just love that like
It
line.
is
But
it is a good line. But like, I totally feel it just because, yeah, I can speak English. That doesn't mean I'm like,
oh yeah, I mean English class itself is not just being like writing English. It's reading and like analyzing, and it's
I
just
know.
so
Ugh.
frustrating. But
In English, what's a hedge?
a what?
Right? Exactly. I'm gonna Google it right now. English term hedge.
Hudge?
Hedge. Like a hedge? Like a hedgehog? Yeah, here we go. See, hedges are an important part of polite conversation. They make it, like we say, less direct. The most important form of hedging involves tense and in what expect. I hate I don't like English. I'm not talking anymore. English is stupid. This is
I've never
why.
heard of that term.
Really, that's all I was taught. It was like, don't forget your hedge. Oh my god, the simile. What's a simile? And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, I don't remember that term.
Ugh. Well, my teacher hated me, so that's probably why she's like, Vanessa, what's a hedge? And I'll be like, you cut the hedges? I don't know. And she was like, leave my classroom, Vanessa. And I was like, all right, I'm out. Bye. That was my life in school.
Then, this is when we find out Derek failed grade 1.
Oh, word. Same. I had to repeat grade one
Casey
too.
Casey is rubbing it in his face. Is like, you're not ashamed. How does one fail grade 1? And then George says he wouldn't sit still or be quiet or leave the girls alone. I'm just trying to
Oh,
picture little, Derek just like causing mayhem in the classroom.
I mean, I've been there. I was
Oh,
held back because I was socially immature. It says
but
that on my
but
report card.
basically, but basically, George just kind of tells Derek like, you have to work harder. You have to, try harder. That's basically sums up George's parenting.
Hmm. That was my
It's
mom's parenting
there's
as well.
there's there's never really any discipline, just in general. I mean, but he doesn't really hold Derek accountable for these things. So, and then Casey asks George if he ever grade grub, and he makes fun of it, like, who does that?
It's
And
true.
then
It's true.
Derek reveals Casey does it according to the whole school. And my thing is, seriously, does the school have no other events happening that they have to fixate on something stupid like this?
No.
Like, there's no sporting events, no, like, other, like, breakups or, like, other things that they have to fixate on Casey grade grubbing. Like,
I guess not.
At least Clutzilla made sense because that was a huge thing that happened in front of a lot of people. And, like, I get that being spread around a school. But the grade grubbing thing, it just is like, it's just stupid to me.
We've already pointed out that the school is weird with their like reputation, so of course they're not going to be realistic with, oh man,
They
this person is trying to get better grades. It's not going to be like, did you hear about Melanie? She thought she was pregnant. Let's focus on that.
no, it's just like this school has like its own vocabulary for like everything.
It
So
does,
do
yeah.
they like have like a 101 class when they first join in that Casey missed because she was a transfer student? That it's like words to like the lingo of the school or
Yeah, they
grade
like
grubber. Someone it's like, and then like Derek has like Clutzilla and everything. Like it just gets all put into like the lingo for the school, so everyone knows it and everyone uses it.
yeah, they get like a little pamphlet and it's like, please turn to page 13 and it's like grade grubber, someone who tries to get more points. And it's
Yeah.
like, here's a picture of him. It's like Casey's face on.
The most notorious grade grubber of the school, Casey McDonald.
Ugh.
She's made history for the school.
Well, here's the thing though, she talked about how it was super popular.
Huh?
Like everyone in her old school would do that too. Like they'd
Because
all try to get
she went to a really like uppity like school probably, and they that's what they all did.
gross. I don't want to go there.
So anyway, in Casey's bedroom, she does a not to do list. Like she makes a
She's so
list of what not
dramatic.
to do, and she does so like again, she's just going to the extreme with these things. And it's like, don't do homework on time. Don't participate in class discussions. Really, in my opinion, it's simple. Just stop the grade grubbing. You don't have to stop doing everything else. You can still do your homework. You can still participate in class. You can even still do well on tests. Just don't ask for more points.
Exactly, but when does Casey do anything normal? It's either let me make a not to do list or let me go write poetry. Like,
And then she'll make
I'm,
poetry of the not to do list stuff.
oh my god, she's just so extra. I can't.
Hmm. So, and then we go out, and then Marty's playing with this cow toy. And Derek has it go quack quack because it's funnier. Now, I get what Derek is trying to do here. Um, But of course, like Derek leaves, and Marty is still making the dog, or the cow rather, say the wrong like sound. And George overhears her and starts to get worried.
Yeah, he's inhibiting her learning. Like, stop.
He's what?
I don't know. I can't talk. I failed English, remember?
That
My
was a
life's
good one.
making sense now.
But anyway, that plot point comes up later in the episode. That's all it is. So anyway, and then we go to Paul's office, and Casey goes in there and she tells Paul, like, hey, people think I'm a grade grubber. And Paul laughs. So yeah, and then we find out here that Casey was popular in her high school, and people like that did that grade grubbing stuff all the time. And it's like she must have went to a really nerdy ass high school.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like,
Yeah.
what school is that everyone gonna be like, oh my god, I need to grade grub. Oh my god, I'm so cool. Like, no.
It's a competition between them all. It's like, hey, how many points did you grub this month? And
Ugh. Makes me sick.
so anyway, she says, like, Derek's popular. Sometimes I wish I was more like him. She wants to slack her way through school and not care about grades.
That's simple. Just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then Paul tells her this tech support joke.
Ugh, it's so bad.
It's like, tech support. I think it's like every time I hit enter or something like that, like the computer goes off or
turns off,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. And so tech support's like, don't hit enter.
Word, it's that simple.
And basically what Paul's just trying to say to Casey is just like, to stop the grubbing, like, stop the name calling. It would just like stop doing the grubbing. Again, very simple. Paul says it, but does she do that?
No?
No, she wants to do more.
Ugh.
So anyway, she goes to French. She tells Emily she's going to slack more, that she didn't do the reading, even if they have a quiz.
And Emily's like, wait, we have a quiz?
Yeah.
And she's like looking through her book, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah. And then after the fact, Casey gets mad that she still got a 96.
Oh god. I hate these people.
Casey, just take it, Then we find out Derek has failed another paper, and he needs a 90 on the next assignment, or else he fails. Oh, we learn now that Casey's been there for a whole semester.
Okay, so how long is a semester? I didn't go to a school with semesters.
Oh, that's in my high school. That was half a year,
There's 2 semesters?
a whole semester.
But there's 2 in the year then, right?
Yeah, usually.
Okay.
So
I got
she's
you.
been there for about, I don't know, like maybe probably 4 months or so, I guess. Something like that. 5. So she's been there long enough. But anyway, but Casey wants to fail this assignment, this English assignment. And she wants to find someone who will fail without caring, because when she asked Emily, obviously Emily was like, no.
She's like, I care about my game.
So I don't blame Emily there. I wouldn't want to willingly fail a test or a assignment.
But at the same time, she just made such a huge deal about why Casey shouldn't care about her grades.
Yeah.
And then when Casey's like, oh, what's fail? She's like, no.
Probably because she thinks like Casey's grade can like handle a dive, where like Emily's probably like right on the borderline anyway.
True.
So, I get it. I'm not going to poke too much at Emily for that. But anyway, so Casey wants to find someone who won't care if they fail. So she's like, ooh, Derek doesn't care. And then Derek, he also wants to find someone who can get him a 90 basically without trying. So he's like, oh, Casey. So they both think of each other and they agree to be each other's partners and everything. Not knowing what the other's intentions are. Because one, Derek tells Casey that the teacher assigned partners.
Yeah, he totally lied about that
Yeah,
one.
them pretending to hate the thought of being forced to work together was funny. They're like, oh, that's such a shame. Yeah. Wow, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
with like
Oh no.
zero feeling to it. It's like, oh man, really? Oh.
And this is where you get that classic, let's look away and smile. Oh, secret.
Yeah. Because, like, out of context, really, it's like they look like they're so smitten with each other. Like, it's
Yeah.
why, like, in fan vids, like, people use it all the time. Like, I've used it. But, like,
Yeah, I know
really,
you have.
they're kind of just smiling because, like, ha, I got one over them. Like,
So dumb.
hmm. So, anyway, it cuts to the house, and Casey is making a sandwich when Derek comes in. And
That looks like a dope sandwich,
that
by the
was
way.
a
Like,
freaking big ass sandwich.
that looks delicious, and I would eat that whole thing. Like,
That
it
thing
looks
was
amazing.
huge. I mean, that's something I would expect Derek to eat, which I guess is probably her inspiration.
Probably. She's like, I need to be like Derek. Eat
Yeah.
like Derek.
Because that thing was huge. So Casey's making the sandwich, and Derek's like, oh, hey, how's the project going? And Casey's like, what do you care? You never care. Like, why are you asking?
Hmm.
And he quickly realizes she hasn't done anything for the project yet. And then at school the next day, Casey is there with her slacker image.
What
Uh,
was that? I don't even know. It looks like normal clothes to me.
to us, but
It
to
looks so
Casey
normal.
and everything, it's slacker clothes. It's like basically like a regular T-shirt. Like it was like a plain regular T-shirt, right?
Yeah.
And then like I don't know what the hell those pants were. That's definitely not pants she wears often. But I don't know. But they made it off to be like that's her slacker look, and her hair was kind of done up a little bit messy. But I mean,
I can't with this girl, you know?
um, well, oh, and then this is where Emily reveals that the teacher didn't assign partners for the project, which again, like I get Casey is trying to be chill, but how is it not common knowledge that she didn't know that it wasn't assigned?
I think she likes to believe. She's like, this is it. This is my partner. This is it. I've been assigned this. Focus. And
Like when it
she
first
clocked
happened, I
out.
thought Casey was like she just went along with it because she wanted him to be her partner. Like she knew it was a lie, but here she didn't know. Like we find out she really didn't know that that wasn't the case and she thought
Mhm.
it was. It's like, but Casey, like you probably went to the class. I can't see her not paying attention despite trying to be slack.
Don't you know it was in her to do not list? Not pay attention? She nailed it.
But yeah, she nailed that one. Because like I just don't get why she wouldn't know. I feel like she would have to know. Like but anyway, she finds out and then she kind of like gets the idea that Derek is trying to use her to get Annie's grade. And so she kind of gets his alternative motive for this. And then we find out in this little place that Casey had to hide her books around the house to stop from working.
Did you ever have to do that?
No.
Same. I just left it in my bag.
Yeah,
I
just
was
left them
like,
in the
I don't need
bag.
to do
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah. Maybe
Vanessa, where's your homework?
maybe I'll study like in the
Yeah,
morning.
I'll do that later. But then in the end, it's like, Vanessa, where's your homework?
Well, no, I always did my homework, but sometimes I didn't like study right away or anything like that. Like I'd wait.
Yeah, I like to joke that I didn't do homework, but I did. 100%. I just always did really bad homework. So it's probably like better to say I didn't do it.
We go back to the George and Marty plot, and George tells Nora about how Marty's getting her animal sounds wrong, and she's even skipping every second letter of the alphabet. Like she's
That's
going
legit though. I
A
can't do that.
C E, like she's doing something like that, which I
I
think
can't do
is
that.
actually
That's
no,
talent.
I can't. I can barely say the alphabet regularly without saying it all.
Exactly.
Without saying it all.
Same.
So
Same. Exactly
it's the
it.
fact that she's actually going every other like that takes skill. That kid's smart.
Exactly. I like look at stuff at work and I'm like, okay, which one goes next? And I'm going like A, B, C, D, and I'm like, okay, got it.
I
She's
have to
like,
constantly put in like people's names into like alphabetical order, and like
yeah.
every single time, no matter how many times I've had the same group, I always have to go, okay, so where does F go after this? And it's
A,
like
B, C, D, E, F.
I'm
Okay,
probably
after
good
E.
up until F, and then I'm like, wait, what comes next? And I have to sing.
Me too. I always have to like put stuff in the right like group, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I'm like, excellent, cool. And then they're like, who's not putting this in alphabetically? I'm like, it's not me. I'm singing my alphabet.
So yeah, so George tells Nora that, and Nora finds it very odd that she's doing that. Cuts to the next scene. Derek confronts Casey, like, why aren't you doing the project? And this is where they find out for sure what the other one's doing. Like, Derek's trying to get her to get the easy A, and Casey's using Derek to get, like, a failure. And so, obviously, Derek wants her to do something, but she's not willing to. She just wants to read whatever magazine she's reading. I don't know what it is. And so, it cuts to the blue screen. And this is one of my favorite blue screens of them, because it's just like he goes up to her and then like he's like holding her and begging her and everything. I just find it adorable. Obviously, Casey isn't going to do the project, so Derek goes to Edwin and offers like him money to help him with the presentation since it's due the next day. And then it goes to George and Nora again with Marty, and they're trying to teach her the proper sounds. And they find out that Derek is the reason why she's been saying them wrong, because Derek said that making them say the wrong things was funny.
I don't know how that's funny.
Not that like I don't think Derek wanted her to like do it to this extreme. But I think he was just trying to say like, isn't it kind of funny if like a dog were to say moo?
I don't think that's funny.
Not in the way she was doing it, but I could see why it might be like funny. But anyway, so George eventually goes up and like tells him that, you know, that wasn't funny. And that's pretty much the end of that plot.
What a good plot.
I think there's something else should have happened with that, but they just left it at that for the most part. So, with that out of the way, Derek is with Edwin now. Deadwin.
Deadwin.
Edwin has made the presentation cards for him by now.
It's a horrific shit name, by the way.
So the thing is on Percy Shelley. So
I don't know who that is.
It's a poet.
Never learned that.
I did a whole thing on him. So in English that I passed.
I failed English. I thought we talked about this.
So anyway, so Percy Shelley, he does these like little note cards, and Derek's like, "Oh, Percy Shelley was a romantic poet. His wife was Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein. That's not romantic."
Yeah, that's not romantic, but it's like the first. Isn't it like? Is it viewed as the first science fiction?
I have no idea.
Thing. I think it was. That's right. Women invented science fiction. You heard it here first, folks.
Or not.
Or not. It's a widely known thing.
The other one was, if Frankenstein fought Godzilla, who would win?
Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla, no doubt. But it was just like these. And then Derek turns to Edwin's like, these sound like it was written by a 10-year-old. And he's just like, it was.
But let's be real. Is that a far stretch, though? Because, like, Edwin, he's considered smarter than Derek, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what does it sound like when Derek writes stuff?
I don't think he's done his own work in so long that we don't know. It probably could be Derek. Like, that could be exactly what Derek would say.
True.
Like, if this was any other presentation where he didn't care what grade he got, this might be exactly what he wrote or said.
Yeah.
So, but now that because he wants his a good grade, he knows this isn't good enough. Because Edwin even says like, "Oh, this is D, like worth like,
at least
material."
a D.
Yeah. And Derek's like, "I don't want a D, I want an A." So Derek actually starts to read himself, and then they show Casey in the next room.
Enter another montage.
She's trying to distract herself in her room by dancing to this.
That dancing was so bad. I was like, "Stop."
She's dancing to this like 2000-ish song. Like, it's so 2000s.
You can't see it right now, but I'm dancing like Casey. I'm moving my arms up in the air.
But then she like picks up a book
Starts
and
reading.
she starts
like,
reading
that's not
it.
What you're supposed to do.
But like, I don't understand how successful she is. Like, if she's like, I don't see how she could be successful in reading it with the way she's dancing because her head is bobbing too frequently to actually properly read the words. Probably, but then she's just like,
Classic.
turning the pages like she's reading it, and I'm just like, no.
So dumb.
It's ironic that Derek then yells at Casey to turn off her music because he's working.
Right? I was like, well, that's a switch. And what I found that was great,
What?
when Casey works and she's like, I'm trying to study, he never turns the music down.
Hmm.
He just lets it go. He only had to say turn it down once and she had it turned off. Like, she cares.
Well,
She cares
because
so
she
much.
knows how it feels.
Yeah.
But
But you
obviously
would think
Derek
she'd be
doesn't give a shit.
yeah, she'd be like, haha, this is how it feels. And then she's like, no, you're right, you're studying, my bad. Let me turn this off.
So at this point, Casey drags Lizzie into her room to help her stop herself from working on the presentation. Casey's never failed anything before in her life.
I find that hard to believe. She failed at being cool.
Well, she's never failed anything at school.
Oh, well, that's not what you said.
So anyway, the next like little bit kind of gets me because Casey like weekly tries to like get the book on her like bed, and then Lizzie like even weaker like just be like, "No, Casey."
I love how whenever Lizzie helps her with anything, like she doesn't even want to do it, she's like, you're a good sister.
Yeah.
Every single time. She doesn't want to be there. You're such a good sister for being here.
And yeah, and then she's
ugh.
like, she says all this stuff like, Lizzie, you're such a good sister, and then she just walks over to her desk and grabs another book, and then Lizzie's just like, no, Casey, like,
Oh,
don't
God.
take that book. No, like, see, if my sister had told me, hey, I need your help not doing this, and like she started doing it, I would have jumped on her.
You know what you should have done? You should have made her read Adam is Strong Guy.
God. Oh boy. Oh
It
boy.
was the best thing you guys ever read together, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh. If any one of you likes Degrassi, okay, there is a fan fiction called Adam is Strong Guy.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the funniest shit ever.
It's not a good fan fiction,
I'm gonna find it.
but I would just read some of it because I'm trying to think of the word for it. Like it's something you love to hate.
It's someone actually. I remember hearing about it first on Tumblr, by the way, and someone did a voiceover thing. So they changed their voice pitch with everything. So it was like Drew point of view, and it was so bad.
But yeah, so if you like Degrassi, especially like the Boiling Point era, like season 10 or so, because it centers around Adam Torres.
There it is. Adam is Strong Guy. I found it.
I would just read at least a couple chapters of that. They're not very long chapters. Like you breeze through the story because it's just very short chapters with only so much in it, but it's just so stupid.
This is chapter 1, just to give you a taste. Adam, point of view. When I walk into the halls of Degrassi Community School, I see my two best friends and beautiful girlfriend in the world. Eli, point of view. I see that shining armor boy. I realize that's my best friend, Adam Torres. He is so strong today. Claire, point of view. I am going to kiss my amazing boyfriend, Mr. Eli Goldsworthy, today, right before school starts. End of chapter 1. Drew. Oh, B, guess what? Bianca, point of view. What is it, Drewy? Drew, point of view. B, you and I are going to my brother Adam's birthday party tonight. End of chapter 2.
It's just
oh my god. There's 15 chapters of like 100 words. It's great. If you need to laugh, if you feel bad and you need to cheer yourself up.
It's
Go
basically just absurd.
Oh,
but
God.
it's just some of it is just so stupid it's good. Like
Yeah,
that kind of thing. But yeah,
If
so
you think your writing's bad and you need like a pick me up, go read that.
yeah.
You'll see your writing's amazing.
Anyway, so going back to life with Derek, I don't even know how we got onto that subject.
I don't know either. I love
Oh,
it though.
because you said that she should read it to distract herself.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, she starts reading about, Shelley, and Lizzie eventually like falls asleep because she's just reading it out loud, which, mood. And then
Mood.
and then
That is
Edwin
literally me in
ends
first
up coming
class.
to Casey's room and she tells her that Derek's in trouble. And he tells her that he's failing the class and that he needs to do well, for the class. And Casey doesn't buy it, which I don't understand. Like, if Derek was pretending to care about his grades, like, what's his end goal?
To make her grade grub?
I just don't get it. Like, why would he want to pretend he cares about his grades? Like,
I mean,
that
it's
doesn't
true.
hurt her anymore. I don't
That's
get
true,
why
though.
she's like so like defensive about it. But then Edwin brings her to the stairs, and he's like, just like look at him, and he's all being emo down in the dining room table, and he's like reading from a book, and he just like throws the whole like pile of books onto the floor because he's so
So
frustrated.
dramatic.
I know.
He's right up there with Casey with writing poetry.
Yeah. But anyway, so he's being that kind of dramatic too. So then Casey comes down and she offers to help. And Derek's all like, no, no. It's like, there's no time left. I've tried and I failed. So like totally guilt tripping her. Um, but like, Casey is pretty adamant and about helping him, so she sits down with him. They share like a somewhat cute smile exchange, but then that smile Derek has like turns into a smirk as he looks up at Edwin up the stairs, and like that was their plan the whole time.
They're so shipping it.
Mm-hmm.
They ship it hard.
Derek ships Derek and Casey too. Well, obviously.
Yeah! Yeah! It's just a ship. They ship it. Move on. It's the thing.
But anyway, so Derek, he manipulated basically Casey to help him with the presentation despite her not wanting to. Next at school, they are dressed up as Percy and Mary Shelley, a married couple. Yeah.
Oh my god, Derek and Casey are married!
But one thing is, like, where the hell do they get these costumes so last minute?
I don't know. Did they go to the
She's like,
costume
we
department at
probably
school?
got extra points for, like, dressing up.
Yeah.
Okay, but, like, where did they get these clothes? Did Casey just have, like, these clothes lying around? And, like, how does she get the thing for Derek?
And she's been waiting her whole life for this moment. She's been ready.
She's been waiting. Oh, boy.
I've been waiting for you to actually want to work hard on a project, Derek. Here, wear this.
I knew it'd be very like Shakespearean-ish. Like he was wearing like that time period.
That hat was so weird. I was like, stop it.
So they end up getting an 89 on the test. On the assignment rather. And obviously Derek needs a 90 to pass. So what does Derek do?
Please, grub.
Casey, can you grub?
Be a grub and grade. Grub and get that grade. Please.
So again, it just kind of shows you that she's like Derek's kind of her weak point. So she just kind of like automatically folds.
Of course.
So she's like, fine. She's like, make way for the grub. But I did like the fact that Derek stopped those people in the hallway from making fun of her.
Those guys look so grody, by the way.
To look so what?
Grody? They're like so gross. Like there's that guy with like a soul patch. I'm like, what the fuck? And there's that guy with that awful straight hair that's like ugh.
I mean, they weren't nice to look at, but
they're greasy, they're grody.
Is that part of their lingo at that school? I've never heard that phrase.
Probably. You've never heard grody?
No.
I feel like I've always heard it and I've always said it. Maybe I made it up in my mind and thought everyone else used it. Let me Google grody. Ah, here it is. Unpleasant and appealing, usually in a sense as something has been worn out, spoiled, or left unwashed for too long. such as a month-old gym sock. So those two guys were unwashed for too long. They're grody.
Okay, I've never heard it.
Maybe it's a Canadian thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
Let us know if you've heard grody before.
I haven't heard that word before. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, but
Maybe it's just that Philadelphia doesn't care for such language.
all right. So
It's a lie
anyway,
because Philadelphia is grody.
that's that episode.
Yeah. How does it feel to be back after 8 years of not doing an episode?
Feels good. I meant to say this earlier, but I think it's pretty funny that in the last podcast, I believe it was, we were like, "Wow, we've done 10 of these," and like pretty much we didn't take that big of a gap breaks. Like we didn't take that
Yeah,
big
we
of
lied.
breaks at all, and then we took like a 2-month hiatus.
We needed a break.
We were like, "Yeah, 10 episodes, wow!" And then we were like off the like.
We were too ambitious with ourselves. We were far too ambitious. Plus side, people have gone off and watched listened
Oh
a
yeah,
shit ton.
yeah. I can't believe I actually loved hearing the messages of people saying that they were listening to it over break.
Yeah, I enjoyed. I always like would go to your page and refresh to see if there was new messages. I'm not gonna
But
lie.
I can't understand. Well, like I mean, I'm happy it happens, but what it's just like it surprises me so much is that people are actually listening to it on like Apple Podcast and like
Yeah, like
Spotify.
yeah. If you're watching on listening, if you're listening on the Apple Podcast, leave us 5-star reviews.
You leave us fine.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. It gets the podcast out there because that's the rating system over there, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I've never
It's like
used
if
that.
you well, it's what I hear from other podcasts I listen.
Okay.
Just spreading gospel.
And yeah, I don't know about
Speaking
Anchor
of-
though. I don't know about that.
Anchor, I don't know, but that's like it has a lot. It's still our leading one, but like Apple's like 6 behind right now, like 6 listens behind. So it's getting there.
Ooh.
Like it's popped off. But speaking of Apple Podcast, guess who listens to Apple Podcast and found our podcast and sent you a message?
Oh. What is it? Bee Sloths? That's her name.
Vsauce
Oh yeah, the hockey girl
author.
Yeah, we've talked about Hockey Girl on here a couple times for sure.
We have. I think we have.
Yeah, I know at least twice because it's just our like favorite Daisy fanfiction ever.
Yeah, and we did have the hockey edition, so we must have brought it up there.
We had to have. It just would have made sense.
My favorite part, though, is how she's like, I don't even care that you're making fun of my story. And I was like, when did I do this?
Because she sent me that message, and I was like, anything we say, like, somewhat negatively about it, like we're making fun of it or anything, it's out of pure love. I'm like,
yeah, it's true.
Because we both read that fic like a million times over, like, no lie.
It's true.
So
shout out to you and writing, and I hope you get inspired to write more.
Yeah, because I would love to read more.
Maybe you can do a hockey story, but Casey plays hockey. Just saying. Just saying.
Okay.
It's my favorite. It's my
so
thing.
The next episode we're going to be talking about is good old Babe Raider.
Oh God.
Which is like a huge Daisy episode. So,
and it's a huge ripoff from Tomb Raider.
This episode, besides the very end, it really wasn't that Daisy-ish.
No, it's not. It's literally just like
it's just
parts
Derek
that you take out of
like,
context.
I'm failing English. I want to do better in this. And then Casey's like, I don't want to be a grade grubber. Like,
let's look at each other and smile.
And then Marty goes moo with the duck and all this other.
What does a pig say? Ribbit, ribbit.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
I mean, it's a good episode,
Very
but it's just not as Daisy as like I feel like the perception behind it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because in my mind, before I rewatched it, I was like, oh, like this is a Daisy episode. But really, it's just kind of like towards the end where it becomes really Daisy-ish. So, but Babe Raider,
Babe Raver.
Babe Raider, I believe it
Babe
definitely
Raver.
is like more Daisy-ish. So
Well, it'll be good.
yeah, especially with all like the
It'll be
innuendos probably
good.
that are in there that we didn't really notice before.
When she shows up and she's wearing the outfit, and he's like,
All right, so that's it for right now. Again, if you're listening to this on YouTube, definitely leave us a comment. And if you're listening to us on Anchor, leave us a voice message.
I still want to hear from you. You're breaking my heart every time.
um,
And if you're on Apple Podcasts, leave a comment, leave a review.
yeah.
Help us out.
All right. So until next time, bye bye.
We're signing off. My bum doesn't hurt, by the way. I'm in a nice chair.